What's up everyone, my name is Augustine and this YouTube channel is dedicated to anyone who works or wants to work on cruise ships. So if that's you, make sure you subscribe and you check out my other videos because you're definitely gonna find them useful. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk to you about safety duties for crew members on cruise ships. Every crew member is responsible for the safety of the ship. That means that in case of emergency, everyone has a designated role they would play. And on a daily basis, apart from your duty, you would also have safety duties. So on this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of them. For example, number one, embarkation duty, or also known as scanning duty. Basically, on turnaround day, which is the day where the ship goes to the home port at the end of the cruise, so the passengers get off and new passengers get on board before we set sail for the next cruise. That's called turnaround day, or also known as embarkation day. So on turnaround day, some people would have to stay on board and help with the embarkation. Basically, what you would be doing is scanning the passengers' cruise cards and showing them their muster station, or just making sure they know where the muster station is. Their muster station is their emergency station, so it's a designated place on the ship where they should go if there's an emergency. In some companies, you would also have to make sure they watched a safety video or something. Usually you would do a shift that could be an hour and a half or 2 hours. That's called embarkation duty or scanning duty, and you should expect to do it every other turnaround day or every 3 turnaround days, which could be anything from 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on how long the cruises are. Another safety duty is called IPM. It's not really a duty because you don't have to do anything, you just have to stay on board. IPM stands for in port manning. That means that whenever the ship is in port, there is a certain number of crew members that need to remain on board in case anything happens. Usually you would get your IPMs for the cruise at the beginning of each cruise. And depending on the cruise line, you should expect to be on IPM every 3 or 4 ports. That means that every 3 or 4 ports you have to stay on board and you can't go out, which is a shame because many people work on cruise ships because they love traveling. By the way, on this company, I am so grateful not to have any of these duties actually, because I am a guest musician. Even though I'm doing a long contract, my rank on the ship is guest musician. So when it comes to the safety of the ship, I'm something called supernumerary, which means I don't have any safety duties. I still have to do a drill, like a safety drill, which I'm going to talk to you about next, but only once a month rather than twice a month. And on the drill, I don't have any specific tasks. And of course, I don't have embarkation duties or IPMs, which is amazing. But it doesn't happen on many companies. That's why I think I'll stay on this company because it's pretty good. But most people, to be honest, would have all these safety duties I'm talking about. That's why it's important. So far we've talked about IPM and embarkation duty or scanning duty. So now we'll talk about safety drills. So every ship has to run safety drills regularly. Usually every week or every other week, depending on the company. They run for about an hour or 2 and they can only take place on port days, never at sea, and it's a requirement that all ships do it often. The reason why they do drills is so that the crew is familiarized with the procedures, and if there's a real emergency they would know exactly what to do. On every drill there is a simulated incident, usually a fire. So they would call all the crew to their emergency stations or muster stations. For that, there's a specific signal called crew alert, which is one long blast on the ship PA system. And then everyone would go back to their cabins and get their life jacket, warm clothing, so never shorts, and it's good if you have a jumper on you as well or a jacket. In some companies they would also ask you to take water with you, and then you would go to your emergency station and scan your card just so that they know that you're there. And in most companies you have to stand. Some other companies would let you have a seat if there's a seat there. You have to be paying attention, you can't be on your phone or anything. And sometimes after the drill they take you to the theater and they show you a film about the safety of the ship or things like that. So drills of course are mandatory and all the crew members have to attend. Some companies also do passenger drills. So that is crew members and passengers, as if it was a real emergency. But especially after the pandemic, some companies don't do them anymore, at least not often. Another safety duty is called cabin inspections or crew rounds. It basically means that you need to be out of your cabin for half an hour or an hour, depending on the company, usually from 9 a.m, so that people could come and inspect your cabin. They're not looking for illegal items or anything like that, and they're definitely not opening your drawers or going through your stuff. It's not about that. It's mostly about the safety of the ship. So what they want to see is that you have your life jacket, so you have to make sure to put your life jacket on top of your bed so that it's visible, and that no electronic devices are plugged in, because of course that is not safe, and they want to see that the room is fairly tidy. It doesn't have to be spotless, but it can't be a mess. So yeah, that's all they're looking for really. The important thing is that you remember to tidy up a little bit and to put your life jacket on your bed and to stay out of your cabin during that frame of time, because if they knock on your door and you're still in bed, you failed cabin inspection. It's not the end of the world if you fail once, but you can't be failing all the time because you'll get in trouble. Thankfully, most companies would run the cabin inspections on the same day they do the drill. So let's say the drill starts at 10, cabin inspections or crew rounds start at 9. That way, if you're not a morning person, there's only one day where you have to wake up early. And also some crew members, but I think it's especially heads of departments, they would be responsible for running the cabin inspections or crew rounds. That's also a safety duty. And finally, the last safety duty I can think of right now is tender duty. So most of the times when the ship goes to a port, they are actually in port. That means that they dock. So there is a gangway and you can just walk off the ship. But sometimes in some ports, the ships can go all the way to the port. For whatever reason, maybe there's another ship in port and it's only a small port, so there's no space for two ships. Or maybe the sea is not deep enough, so a big ship can get close to the port. In those cases, the ship throws the anchors and people get to the actual port on little boats called tender boats. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens. Whenever there's a tender port, of course the deck officers are responsible for the whole tender operation, but they need help, and that's why many crew members from different departments have to help with the tender operation. That's what's known as tender duty. Basically, you would be on a tender boat, helping passengers get in and out of the boat, and it can take between 1 to 3 hours. And the worst thing is that tender operations tend to start very early, so you might be asked to do it at 6 a.m, which is obviously not very nice. Okay, that's all the safety duties I can think of right now. Thank you very much for watching until the end. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. There is a PayPal link for donations as well. Of course, every donation will be absolutely appreciated. And the most important thing, if you like this video, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I have many videos about working on cruise ships, and if you want to work on a cruise ship, you'll definitely find it useful. Thank you for watching, see you next time, bye!